when I quit my last job to come work at CMP Attachments, it was actually giving up quite a bit because I had a company truck,
yeah,
a 401k, paid health care, full health care, and I also had to take a pay cut to come here.
So you lost all that to go work in Derek's garage?
It sounds a little worse when you put it like that. If you needed a bucket for your excavator, we can cut it, build it, powder coat it, and have it to you all in one day. I talked it over with my dad, who I put a lot of trust in his advice, and he thought I was nuts. Keep in mind, guys, this is 3/8 AR 400 versus 1/2 inch mild steel. So it's stronger and it's thinner.
And that's what you guys are using?
And that's where our products are excelling, because we are using better quality materials. If you don't start with something good, you're not going to have something good. I don't look at anybody here as employees. It's like we're family. So the material comes in on one end, it gets cut, it gets bent, it gets machined, it gets fabricated, and out the door.
Out the door. All right, you guys, we're back with our Listen While You Work series. This is a video series designed to let you guys pop on a set of headphones, and you don't necessarily have to watch the video to understand what's going on. What I'm hoping to do with this video series is to go out and interview experts inside of our industry and share their knowledge with the rest of us. Now, we're going behind the scenes today with a guy named Andrew. He's the manager for CMP Attachments, and he along with the owner Derek have grown this attachment company from $400,000+ 6 years ago to over $4 million in sales. Now, they manufacture everything inside the USA. This is a pretty unique story, and I thought some of you guys would find this interesting and hopefully potentially helpful. Now, if you do like a video series like this, the success of it depends on you guys. You guys interacting with the video, liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you know of any good guests, let me know that in the comments down below, because I need people to interview. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Without wasting any more time, let's go find out how this shop was able to grow 10x in just 6 years. And do you really need to ask why I have baby squirrels running all over me? Is that really unusual? All right, well, on the first part of this series, we got to talk with Derek and understand how he built his business. Andrew, come on out. Look at, he's already doing a sneak peek. On the next series, we're going to actually be talking with Andrew about how he runs this shop and what he does to keep quality control up, and how this shop went from just as taking over a small portion of the building to expanding almost twofold in just 2 years. So without wasting any more time, let's get into today's video and see what Andrew's up to. All right, what were you saying?
So when I quit my last job to come work at CMP Attachments, it was actually giving up quite a bit, because I had a company truck,
yeah,
a 401k, paid health care, full health care, and I also had to take a pay cut to come here.
So you lost all that to go work in Derek's garage?
It sounds a little worse when you put it like that. I talked it over with my dad, who I put a lot of trust in his advice, and he thought I was nuts. When I left, it was 3 of us in a garage at Derek's house. So there was the stability factor. You don't get that warm fuzzy feeling when you walk in, you know. It was
when you walk into Derek's 2-car garage.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little better than that. It was a
3-car.
It was 36 by 50, a pole shed.
Oh, okay.
You know, right. And it was like if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to walk into the house and, you know, hope his family was gone already, because otherwise it got kind of weird. But you wanted to wash your hands. You know, we ate dinner at his kitchen table. We ate lunch every day at his kitchen table. So it was like the personal connection there. I mean, it's still that way around here. Everybody here, it's like a family. I mean, there's 12 guys now, and we have a group text message that everybody's a part of. You know, it's like a brotherhood. Honestly, it's the only way to describe it. I don't look at anybody here as employees. It's like we're family.
So CMP actually takes raw materials. They don't have anything fabricated like in China.
Built right here in-house.
So that's something that I want to point out, because there's certain attachment companies that are having stuff built outside of the U.S.
Right.
It comes into the U.S. and then they just stick it together.
we go out of our way to use products made in the United States, and if we can, then we're going to do it here.
So some of the products you guys make are things like this hydrograpple right here, right?
Yep.
Is this a hydrograpple, a rotograpple? What do you guys call this?
It's a rotary excavator grapple.
Okay.
Our brand to it is a hydrograpple.
Okay.
And this is one thing we really pride on, that it's made in the United States 100%, and it's the paint job. The motor is made in the U.S. All the steel is made in the U.S. The cylinders are made in Minnesota. Everything here is a United States product.
So you were telling me a little bit something about the steel. Can we walk down here?
Yep, so we have 3 different types of steel in here. We don't do anything out of A36 material. We try and replace that with grade 50, so it goes from a 36,000 pound tensile to a 50,000 pound tensile strength. So it's quite a bit stronger from the beginning. So we have grade 50, AR400, and T1 materials. So we're not using cheap materials. We try and start from the best.
So what are we going to do, Andy?
All right, guys, so I got these 2 pieces of metal. This one is AR400, this one is A36. Now, if you look, you'll see the A36 is actually 1/2 inch thick, and the AR400 is 3/8. So I'm working for the A36 on this one, but I'm going to show you guys what the difference is. What we're going to do is we're going to bend them to a certain degree of angle. Okay. And I'm going to show you, if we look on the screen here, our press brake's going to tell us what the tonnage required to make that bend is. So we'll do both samples, we'll see who wins. We're going to go right there to 10 degrees, okay?
Got it.
And right now I have, it's bouncing between 12 and 13 tons to bend that.
12 and 13 ton to bend the AR 400?
This is the A36, also known as mild steel.
Okay.
And the reason we're not going to bend it very far is because it's not safe. So if anybody's wondering why we're not bending it to a 90, that's why.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We're gonna go a little more yet. Right there is almost 10 degrees. Now look here, we're at 19 tons. Right there, 19 tons. Keep in mind, guys, this is 3/8 AR400 versus 1/2 inch mild steel. So it's stronger and it's thinner.
And that's what you guys are using?
And that's where our products are excelling, because we are using better quality materials. If you don't start with something good, you're not going to have something good. So we have our material all the way from 1/8 inch all the way up to 3-inch material we have here that we can cut ourselves. We're able to powder coat here. We have a 4-foot, 6-foot oven.
Okay.
So we can etch blast stuff in-house, and then we can powder coat it. So we can literally, if you needed a bucket for your excavator, we can cut it, build it, powder coat it, and have it to you all in one day.
Do you do any custom work?
Oh, absolutely. As far as the painting?
No, as far as actually, like if somebody says, oh, I want this bucket to have this teeth arrangement.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you do
Almost
that.
everything we do is probably a little variation to something we've done before, and that's where I was touched on before, where I have to tweak the drawing. So maybe we have a file for a 36-inch bucket, but the customer, he really needs a 40-inch.
Okay.
We'll give him a 40-inch.
So when you give them a 40-inch, do you already have a file for a 40-inch that you'll do, or do you have to
No, we just
create
modify one.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, let's see the facility. Let's go through and check out everything that we've got. Here, I'll grab this, Derek. We got Derek, the owner's holding camera for us. That's what you call teamwork, right, Derek?
So this is our powder coat area. This is a spray booth. So we can do all our spraying in here. And the nice thing about powder coat versus paint is you don't have fumes. Okay. So if the guy applying the powder coat has the proper gear on, everybody else in the shop doesn't have to suffer. They don't smell any fumes. They don't even know what's going on.
When did you guys put the powder coat booth in?
About 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
And the biggest thing we've noticed with that is we're able to turn stuff, the return time on it, we can get it to the customer much faster.
Do you powder coat all of your own stuff, or do you
no.
outsource that?
We outsource that just because we can't quite do it efficiently.
Okay.
But when we need something done, then we have the opportunity to do it. So what we do is we hang the material on this rack after it's been sandblasted, roll it over into the spray booth, spray it, and it's electronically charged. So the nice thing about powder coat versus paint is it gets into all the cavities that you may not be able to see spraying paint.
Okay.
And then once that's done, we roll it into the oven and it'll bake at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. Once you can touch it, it's cured. If you can handle it, it's ready to go. Take the sheet out. We have nesting software on the computers. It'll get nested, go onto the plasma table, it'll get cut. As soon as it's cut, then it'll get in the next staging area to get bent. And then it'll go down to the fabricators and actually get built.
So you guys have expanded this. So you first, Derek, you took over this building. That was a lean-to, you were telling me,
yep.
Andrew? You see that change in the roof line right there? So you guys took the center section to where those two big fans are down there. This was your core headquarters.
Right.
Then you decided to build out that way, so you built the building that way, and now you're in the process of taking over the building down that way. And
right. We're trying to make it a little more smooth, so the material comes in on one end, it gets cut, it gets bent, it gets machined, it gets fabricated, and out the door.
Out the door. How long does it take you to turn around an average implement?
It all depends on what it is, but if you took like a 50 class excavator bucket, I mean, we could literally probably turn that in half a day if we had to.
Okay. Without the powder coating?
With the powder coating.
With the powder coating?
Yeah.
With the powder coating.
If I needed a powder coated bucket, it'd be about 10 minutes to sandblast it and probably 20 minutes to prep it and then bake it.
So did you guys work out this system together to be able to become that efficient?
I think it's been stuff that we both kind of touched on. You know, he says this, I say that, we meet in the middle, or, you know, he's got an idea for one thing, yeah, that's good, and, you know, it just, we see the problems and we fix them as we can.
But you guys don't always, you guys agree to disagree sometimes, or do you always have a meeting of the minds and work it out, or
we
tell me
work
about
it
that
out.
process?
We have meetings pretty much every day. Yeah, we're usually we always have problems as we're growing. There's constantly problems, and you know, we just try to solve each problem, and each problem just kind of gets tweaked and changed, and then a process starts to begin. And then once we see a process, we just follow that process once it works.
So you guys are on the same track, and
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing to point out.
Communication is the biggest thing that we have learned over the last couple of years between what goes on out there and between the orders coming in. We got to have a plan.
So Derek heads up the office, oversees everything. You do the design work. Andrew, you're the one that is responsible for turning raw materials into the end design, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is our press brake here. This is a 200 ton press brake. He'll actually form the wear strips to fit this skin. This skin is grade 50 material. The wear strip is AR 400, so that is what's going to take the wear.
Okay.
And the AR stands for abrasion resistant. This is the beginning of a payloader bucket. This will be a 4-yard, 100-inch wide bucket.
Is that going to be painted? Is everything you guys do red, white, and blue?
No, a lot of black and red, white, and blue. This will be our staging area. So this is the projects waiting to get built. They've been cut, and the far side they need to get bent yet. This side they're bent and ready to go. So each day I kind of look at this shelf, and that's how I plan what's going to happen, who's going to do what, what's ready. And if something needs to get finished, then we get it taken care of. Now would be our machining area. So next we have 2 CNC lathes, a CNC mill, and a manual mill, and a manual lathe. So if we need pins made, if we need bushings made or whatever, we can do all that right here in-house.
So you make your own pins and bushings?
We make a boss that the bushing presses into, but we use a hardened chrome pin, a hardened bushing.
Okay.
So we can do all that in-house. We can make the boss that the bushing press into, press it in, and then it can go over there. Everything can get welded up then. So everything is done in-house. Basically, we have the capability to make anything that we need to is the bottom line.
Do you always make everything, or do you?
No.
Is it better to outsource it? But when you're in a crunch, you have the capability. Is that what I'm gathering? You guys?
We have a machine shop that we work with that they make more of the high volume parts. Just because we're a little busier here with the one-offs where it's harder to run the high volume.
What is a high volume part?
Like all our machine parts for the hydrograpple.
Okay.
We have a machine shop make those. So they come to us in a kit, so everything's ready to go.
But that's made in the USA, right?
Correct. Right here in Minnesota.
Okay. I think they're in Wisconsin.
Okay, okay. I just want to make sure that these guys understand just how committed you guys are.
We go out of our way to make sure that it's made in Minnesota, made in the U.S.
All right, let's see the next step in the process.
We don't do too much with tubing structures. We try and make everything all integrated so that it has a structure bent into it on a flat sheet.
So wait a minute,
steel.
what do you mean you don't do too much with
Well,
tubing?
we don't use too much. Like you see there's some tubing, some angle iron,
Right.
flat bar, stuff like that. We just do it all out of the plasma table and bend it into what we need it to do rather than trying to adapt something that's already made and make it fit our project. We're cutting the parts on the plasma table, so if we can use that material that's already on the table and maybe being wasted, and we can integrate that into our project, then we're miles ahead.
Okay.
And a lot of it is P1. It's a higher grade material than what you get out of structural, out of your tubing and your angle iron.
Okay.
So a lot of times the quality of the steel is just a better quality steel that we're producing on a flat sheet.
This is our welding and fabricating station. Usually we have 2 to 3 guys that are putting stuff together, and by that I mean they're just basically getting it ready to be welded. They're putting it together, tacking it up, and then they'll put it in a welding queue. We have 1 to 2 guys, that's all they do is just weld, and then the rest put it together. So like right now, Wyatt's building a 6-foot brush cutter for a skid loader. Over here, he's building rollers for gas pipe. They're basically stands that go on the ground that they can put their plastic gas pipe on so that they can fuse it. Jesse's welding up one of those 4-yard buckets we looked at a minute ago. So the variety here, there's never the same thing going on. It's different every day.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, I think it's good because it keeps the guys motivated, it keeps them excited, it keeps our drive going.
But how about for you, from an owner's standpoint, do you find that your efficiency's gone down because you're handling over 150 different, is it 150, Derek?
180 total.
180? Yep. Do you feel that your efficiency could be improved if you just handle 3?
Well,
or is there no market for just 3?
no, I mean, a lot of this stuff, like your loader buckets are made overseas. A lot of your excavator buckets, almost all the OEM buckets are made overseas, Mexico, South Korea. And that's why it's really hard to manufacture in the US, because you have to have a diverse group of guys that can go from rollers to building the wheel loader bucket to building the grapple. Like, so what we're trying to do here is empower people and just hold on to really good guys that can do a variety. And if we can do a variety, like grapples, we can flow grapples through here like water. We usually always have a guy constantly building rotary grapples. So now it's to a point where we're getting it going. Now we're looking at a robot. We'll eventually here by next summer have a robot building the hydro grapples. So I want to keep these guys moving because that's the plan for our business.
So that's the sound you hear in the background. We could try to cover it up, but this is a real working shop, and this is actually quieted down quite a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go
Those of
to
you
the
who
next.
are wondering why that welder sounds so weird, well, let me tell you. That's a pulse welder, so it's using pulse on pulse. It's a multi-core processor. So we have invested, each welder is about $20,000. We invested in good welders so that the machines can hold up and actually give the best quality weld.
A lot of our skid loader attachments are built in the US today. They are.
Okay.
So it's like us, like that's why we're not too excited about skid loader attachments, because there's a lot of guys doing a really good job at it and they're building it in the US. Our job is, okay, a lot of your excavator attachments are all made in Mexico, South Korea, China. A lot of these attachment companies, they import the buckets in and they resell them, but they're not manufactured here. I am the only one I know of that's actually trying to take on mass producing mini X buckets in the US. Like there's a couple big ones that will build the big excavator buckets, but the small ones, it's extremely competitive.
Absolutely.
It's difficult, and I told these guys actually a pep talk this morning. When I first started making grapples, we didn't make money at it. We lost money. But we honed it in, we tweaked it, we figured out how to be efficient. And that's where we're at with the mini X buckets. We're probably at a point now where we're not making good money, but we're competitive with the import buckets. But I'll tell you right now, in about another year, we'll be extremely profitable on the Mini X buckets.
Well, how are you going to be profitable on them? What are you going to change?
Well, the change really comes from everybody actually wanting to change, coming up with faster ways, and like it just evolves. And like probably our biggest thing is just being having the projects organized enough so when the welder gets it, everything's bent right, all the projects, the pins, everything is documented, everything's there for them. And that sounds really easy, but it's actually really difficult to do.
One of the things that I want to jump in here is you've been refining, both of you guys have been refining the process of machining and manufacturing these parts for over 13 years. Now, if you guys are just jumping in, this is part 2. Part 1, we talked to Derek. He started this company 13 years ago. He worked the first 7 years part-time. 6 years ago, he took this full-time. Took his business from $485,000 up to over $4 million a year, and now he's in a period of rapid expansion and aggressively pursuing the market space in the attachment industry, but keeping it all 100% American made. Did I just sum that up the right way?
Yeah, I would agree.
And so then now, to actually refine the process and to get more competitive without compromising on quality and using cheaper materials, outsourcing them from outside of the U.S., you're going to, over the next year, concentrate on trying to refine the process of the actual manufacturing to speed it up so that you can manufacture more buckets and attachments with less man hours so you can pass that savings along to your customers. Am I right?
That's the goal.
All right.
I feel like we're trying to pass on a better product as well.
Well, I think so too. I mean, if we go back and look at the manufacturing process that you guys showed me, then I think there's absolutely no doubt that the quality is there. And I think a lot of guys, when I talk to them, I've talked to a lot of guys, they're like, you've got to go with CMP. I mean, that's the reason why we're here together today, is because you guys spoke. I listened and I said, all right, well, let me talk to these guys. And this is where we're at right now. Right? All right, so you guys tell me what you think of this video. Big thanks goes out to Derek, appreciate it.
Thank you, Stan.
Big thanks to Andy, appreciate it. And you guys tell me what you think of this. This is our new series called Listen While You Work. It's designed to let you guys pop on headphones, and if you can't watch the video, you can still listen to it while you're driving. Be safe. That's all I've got for you for today, guys, except I will be taking a few attachments home, and we are going to be starting to test these out under our conditions and bringing you those videos and seeing how they work out in the field. That's what I got. God bless you guys. Do me a favor, check out the video I'm going to pop up here and another one right here. And I'm going to link your website to both videos, to cmpattachments.com. Is that right?
Yep.
That's all I got. I'll see you on the next one, you guys.